Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee with theBrendanLee.com in support of Consciousness and Skill Worldwide, which is founded by Peter Rawlinson. Please check the links in the description and visit my website. Hey, like, subscribe, all that shit. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about perfection. All right, let's get busy talking about perfection because, it's so desirable. You want to be perfect. You want a perfect life. You want a perfect job. You want a perfect spouse, husband, wife, whatever, perfect relationship. You want a perfect spiritual attainment, perfect yoga, perfect entrepreneurial studies, perfect whatever, perfect dinner time, perfect food. Wherever you want perfection. Any domain, don't care. You want perfect religious control over a large group of people. You want to be a perfect dictator. You want to kill somebody perfectly. You want to love 1 million people perfectly. Whatever. See, just trying to keep you open here. I don't want you to get too focused in one direction or another based on what I say in a certain sense. See, so perfection. What your current idea of perfection, where is that? And how do you know to judge what's perfect? How do you know? Did you hear about it somewhere? Did somebody tell you? Is there a rule book? How do you know? Like, if your life isn't perfect, by what means are you making that conclusion? How do you know your life is not perfect? In this case, if you say your life is not perfect, compared to what? Compared to what? Compared to what? See, that missing link, I think perfection lives in the background like a thought or an ideal, like some way you should be, such that you would say, I'm not perfect now. See? So where is this perfection? That's where I want to start with you. Where is it? You see? Do you buy it at Walmart? Is it an object? If it's an object, hey, buy me one. I would love to get some perfection. Send one over. If you send it FedEx, make sure you tell them to drive it all the way to the house because they keep leaving it at the gate. Anyway, okay. See, where is the perfection? Right now, like, grasp where it is. Likely it exists in your mind as some kind of idea. But then who told you? Where did you learn that? And how come you think your version is the one? See, so then that doesn't seem to be perfection itself. That's more an idea that you have about it. And then what way you should be in relationship to that idea. Okay? Now, in addition to that idea, I hear tell also in spiritual worlds that, they might talk about things like your perfect nature, your God nature, your be one with this perfect bliss, a perfect state of bliss where there's no more problems and you can, like, it just sounds really good. I'm thinking of one community in particular where it's like, that sounds so good to be in bliss. And then they write about nirvana in books, right? And you read about stuff. That sounds really fucking good. It does. And it's love. You are love. You are bliss. And that sounds perfect, doesn't it? Now, I can tell you, I have had an enlightenment experience. I've become conscious of my own nature as absolute, right? Which you could say is synonymous with God. So me and God are real tight. And that is my nature, infinite. And there, where I am what I am, there is no problem. There never was a problem, nor can there ever be a problem. It transcends life and death, time and space, all that crap. See? But then what people do with that, as far as I can tell, is you'll confuse my nature with this asshole. Where I am is already perfect. And then there's this fucktard. And then there's this mind and body doing its thing, you see? And so people, as far as I can tell, they're striving to attain perfection, and then especially in spiritual worlds, like part of my intent with making this video is I want to slap some spiritual people around a little bit, be like, hey, wake up and smell the coffee. If you want the reality of perfection, not a fucking fantasy of perfection, you may want to consider what I'm saying. Hello? You confuse me with this. And this mind, you get enlightened? Okay, where are you going to eat breakfast tomorrow? You're still going to have the same problems. What is it? You think it's going to solve all your problems somehow? You see? But I'm talking about perfection. And then, so you see the rub there. I don't really know where I was going with that. I just wanted to hammer that in and shake up some things maybe for spiritually minded people or people who are looking for enlightenment because they want to be perfect people. People aren't perfect. We are full of problems and flaws and wants and desires and needs and drives and unconscious crap. I have not seen a single person, not one, ever, that is not a person. Okay? Now, maybe we hear tell some stories about Buddha which, as far as I can tell, I was talking to Peter today, perfect reputation. You don't hear one bad thing about Buddha, right? He was probably a person, But say we go with the stories in the legend, all right? He attained complete enlightenment, completely conscious, right? Totally one with the infinite God nature, attained nirvana. And I hear tell, he wanted to walk away and just go to the mountains and die. Why? Because he didn't care about this anymore. Now, until you, the listener, or me, the speaker, maybe, stop giving a shit whether your body lives or dies, you're going to have problems. You see, people think that like attaining some kind of nirvana means like it's all bliss or something like that. No. Maybe pleasure and pain become irrelevant, but there's still pain, you see, because you can't have one without the other. Okay, you see? So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Do whatever you want. All right? So now let's consider perfection in the relative world, because at infinity, so to speak, or at God, or at my true nature, whatever you want to say, it's like the words. I really don't like saying the words, but I figured maybe it's time to talk in these ways. My intent is not for you to make up a belief system or believe me. It's for you to grasp what's true. I just made a claim, but does you no good unless you grasp it for yourself. So there you go. Okay, so now let's talk relative perfection. Here's the secret. Here's the deal with perfection. Have you ever noticed that everything is exactly the way that it is? If you want real perfection, you make everything perfect the way that it is. That's perfection. It's already occurring. That's how the relative world occurs as perfect, because otherwise it is not perfect. It's just some idea about what you want it to be that it's not. And that doesn't do anything, because there will always be stuff that you don't want and do want until you die. At some point you'll give that up. See? Even just sitting there, okay, I have a small scratch in between my eyebrows. I don't want that as much. So, okay, I'll handle that. Good. Feel better. See, but it was exactly that. It was exactly perfectly that. And that's it. If you want perfection, just recognize that everything is the way that it is. Perfectly. Okay? Anyway, that handles that. Okay? That's it. It's kind of like happiness. If you want to be happy, the key to happiness is to be happy exactly where you are. See? You're happy with exactly what's occurring right now, immediately. Then you will be happy. Now, I think there's some more stuff to that, like the possibility of getting free from stuff that you're suffering that you don't even know you're suffering, which is also another thing, and that can lead to a, happier disposition perhaps. But real happiness is happy whether it's shitty or not. Perfect, whether it's shitty or not. Wow, it is perfectly shitty. Cool. It's perfect just the way that is. That shit pile is perfect. It is exactly what it is. And you cannot have it be any other way than it is. And then if you change the way that it is, then that's the way that it is. And you changed it. And there was a process. And it's perfectly that. That's perfection. Yeah, so everything already is perfect. Or none of it's perfect, and you have to strive for perfection that doesn't exist because you'll never get there unless you change your disposition to the matter. Then you'll be there already. You'll know that I was there the whole time. Why didn't I realize that? Or why didn't I do that? All right? So that's a little bit I have for you on perfection. Just wanted to hit you with those ideas. Things to consider, not ways to live. Things to consider for yourself, and you choose how to live. Make your life a perfect life by letting it be exactly how it is. Even if you're striving to change it to make it better. Maybe you're striving to make $1 million. Then you are perfectly striving to make $1 million. You're poor as dirt now and you want the money. You want spiritual perfection and you're not getting it, and you're suffering the fact that you don't have it. And then you beat yourself up for not living up to a standard. That is exactly what you're doing, and that's fine. It's perfect. That's perfection. Otherwise, have a great day. This is Brendan Lee with theBrendanLee.com in support of Consciousness and Skill Worldwide, which is founded by Peter Ralston. Please check the links in the description. I have things to offer you. I have a free course so I can get your email and invite you to other stuff. Pay me to work with you. Come here to do a workshop. They kick ass. Thank you. Take care.